I am taking the time to make this video in light of all of the suicides from the gay teenagers around the United States that have happened in the past month, and the effect that all of the videos that the celebrities have made these past few days in order to shine light on these events and get people to start talking about bullying. So I just thought that I would take a few minutes and share with you my personal opinions and my story on the subject. So I grew up in a small town where the word gay was used, as easily as any other word. It was interchanged with stupid, retarded, any other phrase that you wanted to use to make someone feel lowered. And growing up in a small town, I had nobody to look up to in terms of people that, I could either talk to or just confide in about these questioning feelings that I had growing up as a teenager. And in middle school, I actually came to the point where these children were at. It wasn't for the fact that I was being teased specifically for being gay, because at that time I didn't even know that I was. I, at that time, still would call everybody else gay, faggot, whatever you wanted to say. I used the words just as freely as the next guy, and I fully admit to that, and I wanted to apologize to anybody who I ever hurt using that phrase, because now, realizing who I am as an adult, I just know that those words have a lot more meaning to it than just a throwaway verb. And because of this teasing in middle school, I actually, and frustration, it wasn't just bullying and teasing, it was my frustration internally with myself, and not knowing that these feelings that I was having about thinking about other men instead of women, where everybody else and all the billboards and ads and television shows, movies, and everything else were showing me the exact opposite of what I should be feeling. I basically felt that I was a monster, and I had to stop myself. I had to tell myself that this wasn't me, that I wasn't having these feelings, and that it wasn't real. And thankfully, that all changed because I found somebody in high school, and we both could relate to one another. We had nobody else to relate to, but we could relate to one another's feelings, and that is how we made it through high school together as closeted gay teenagers. Living in such a small town, there's no way that we could have came out openly. We would have been bullied to the extent that these children have been, and there's no telling how my life would have been different in those few years of high school had I decided to come out. And that's just wrong. It is sad and wrong. And most of all, what it is ignorant. What I feel the problem lying underneath all of this is one word, and that is ignorance. Ignorance from parents, ignorance from schools, ignorance from the media and everybody else. We are trying to promote one single image of what is right 90% of the time in this country, and every other country for that matter. And the fact is that each person is their own individual, whether it be straight, gay, lesbian, bi, transsexual, transgender, questioning whatever you are, that is who you are. And you know what you need to do? You need to find out who you are yourself and believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself and who you are as a person, then any help that you get from students, from parents, from teachers, whoever you talk to, yes, that will help, that will get you through things, but if you don't believe in yourself and your self-worth and who you are as a person, even if you don't know who you are yet, just believe that your life is worth living enough to keep on going. There is no reason for you to sacrifice yourself just because of what other people think. And I have learned as an adult that you need to treat everybody just the way that you wanted to be treated. That phrase I was taught as a child, and I always took it for granted, and now I know to the full extent what that means. And I want to thank my parents, even though they couldn't understand, their child becoming this, this thing that even I thought was a thing. Me personally, I would mess around with my boyfriend, and at the end of whatever happened, we would look at each other and say, that was wrong, that was disgusting, that should never ever happen again. And this happened again and again until we just, we were so confident in one another that we didn't need to tell the rest of the world. We knew that we were okay with each other, and that's all that had mattered. But what really needed to happen was we needed to have people to go to have people that we could reach out to and talk to about these feelings, because let me tell you, I did not have it easy, and anything to make a teenager's life easier on finding out who they are is something that cannot be underestimated. The years of everybody's teenager life are, the most important years. There are so many hormones and crazy things that happen to you in those 4 years that there should be no need for them to deal with bullying on top of all of that. So what I just wanted to say again is that ignorance is the real problem here. Bullying comes from ignorance, and if we don't educate people on the fact that people are who they are because that's the way they were born, not because they chose to be that way, who on earth would choose to be something that was bullied by basically everybody else because they didn't understand it, they didn't agree with it, they didn't like it? So what? You are who you are, I am who I am. Live with it, deal with it. It's humanity. Ignorance is intolerable. Knowledge is life. It gets better.